Good morning, this is Kasturi Day. Today I'm going to start with the discussion of the question answer series of matter chapter of the chemistry subject according to ICSE syllabus class 8. Okay, so I'm starting with today with the fill in the blanks. Okay, the first is the quantity of matter present in an object is called its mass. All matter is composed of a small particles called molecules. The force of attraction between the particles decreases if the distance between them increases and vice versa. We know that they have the particles which are present in a substance, they have certain gap, certain distance between them, or intermolecular distance increases, that is the gap increases, the force of attraction between the particles also decreases. Okay, and the vice versa happens. If the molecular that means the gap between the particles that decreases, then the force of attraction will automatically increase. Okay, the molecules of the solids can just vibrate about their mean position. Okay, as their intermolecular force of attraction is very strong, so they have a very less intermolecular space between the particles. So that is why they solid molecules of the solid, they just vibrate about their mean position. The molecules of a liquid are free to move about within the liquid. Within the liquid, they can move about freely. Okay, the intermolecular force acting between same kind of molecules are called cohesive force. Okay, and the force, intermolecular force acting between different kind of molecules, that is adhesive force. Now solids are generally rigid. The volume of a liquid does not change because the molecules do not leave the liquid. Okay, now we come to the true and false of the following statements. For the following statements, the particles of two different liquids can diffuse in one another depending upon the nature of the molecules of the liquid. That's true. A liquid can occupy the entire space of a given vessel in which it is closed. That is false. It a liquid a gas can occupy the entire space of a given vessel in which it is closed, because the gas molecules, they have very less attractive force, that is intermolecular force, and that's why they can spread inside the whole vessel. A gas contained in a vessel have a definite shape. Okay, it has a definite volume rather, so it is true. Solids do not diffuse when they are kept in contact with one another. That's true. The density of the liquids is relative more than the solids. It's false. Solids than the liquids. That is, the density of the solids is relatively more than that of the liquids. Gases expand to a large extent when they are heated. That's true. In case of boiling, the liquids can slowly change into gaseous form at a temperature which is below their boiling point. That's false. It's evaporation. In case of evaporation, the liquids can slowly change into gaseous state at the temperature which is below the boiling point. And in case of boiling, the liquid changes into vapor at that particular point, that is known as boiling point. Okay. The mass can neither be created nor destroyed. That's true. That is law of conservation of mass. Now, correct the incorrect statements. Solids have only one free surface. No, it is the liquids which have the only one free surface. The molecules of gas generally move in any one direction. No, that is in case of liquids. The molecules of liquids generally move in any one direction. The various states of matter can be interchanged into one another by altering the conditions of the volume, by altering the condition of temperature or pressure, not volume. By altering the condition of temperature or pressure, there can be the state of matter can be interchanged. Okay, the process due to which liquid changes into gas state by absorbing heat energy at certain temperature is known as evaporation. No, it is at a certain temperature. That means it is either it is either called boiling or vaporization, one and the same thing. Then by sublimation or of air, we can separate oxygen and nitrogen gases. No, it is by liquefaction of the air. Air cannot sublime. Okay, so then by liquefaction of air, we can separate oxygen and nitrogen. The particles of matter are in a state of rest and have potential energy. No, the particles of matter are always in a state of motion and they have kinetic energy. The particles have energy. Okay. Now, when two solids are kept in contact with one another, they differ into one another, they diffuse into one another. When two solids are kept, they cannot diffuse, they do not diffuse. Okay, because the molecules are not free to move into one another. Then liquids can can be easily compressed. No, gases can easily be compressed. Then choose the most appropriate answer. In which of the following state of matter diffusion of particles is not possible in case of solids? The intermolecular forces acting between the molecules of different kinds are called adhesive force. Which of the following states of matter has no free surface? It is gases. They do not have any free surface. Which of the following is a good measure to find the purity of the solid? It is the melting point. Purity of the solid. The room fresheners are, because this question, that is which of the following is a good measure to find the purity of the solid melting point. Why it is so? Because when a pure solid melts, the melting point is fixed for a pure solid. Okay, if any impurity is added to that solid, the melting point, it increases. Okay, that is the condition when by which we can understand the solid is pure or not. Okay, the room fresheners are based on the property of sublimation. Then, with the supply of heat energy to matter, the kinetic energy of the particles increases. Which of the following state of matter is highly compressible? It is the gas. Okay, the process due to which a liquid changes into solid state by giving out heat energy is known as freezing. Okay, now the process due to which a solid directly changes into gases state on heating without changing first into liquid state, or the gases and the gaseous state change on cooling directly change into solid state without first changing into liquid state, is known as sublimation. Okay. Now we come to some study questions, that is short or long questions. Okay, so first one is define matter. State three characteristics of matter. Can light be classified as matter? Give one reason. Okay, so anything that occupies space, that is volume, has mass and can be perceived by our physical senses. Okay, anything that has volume, that can occupy the space. Okay, it has mass and also it can be perceived by our sense. We can feel it, we can see it. Perceived by our senses, that means either we can see it or feel it or we can hear it, like that, on by which we can our senses can identify that object, that matter. Okay, so that the matter. Okay, so three characteristics of matter is the matter can occupy space. Okay, so second one is it has mass, that is quantity of matter which can be found by physical balance. Then the matter has weight, the pull of the gravity of matter which can be found by a spring balance. Okay, now the light cannot be classified as matter because it does not have any mass, though it can be perceived by our senses, that is we can see light. Okay, but it does not have any mass, therefore it is not a matter. Okay, bring out clearly the difference between the following by giving examples. Okay, first one is homogeneous material First is material and substance. So, material is a particular kind of matter, whereas substance is a homogeneous material, which is made up of only one kind of atom or molecule throughout. Okay. Then material is, it may be homogeneous or heterogeneous, but in case of substance, it is only homogeneous. Then examples of matter are wood, water, okay, marble, etc. Whereas in case of substance, examples are sodium chloride, pure alcohol, pure water, etc. Okay. Next is homogeneous material and heterogeneous material. See, homogeneous material is a material which have same composition throughout, and heterogeneous material are those materials which have different compositions throughout. Okay, the materials in homogeneous material, the materials in the homogeneous material, they have the same properties throughout, but in case of heterogeneous substance, the materials have different properties throughout. Okay, an example of homogeneous material is pure common salt, salt solution with pure water, etc. But in case of heterogeneous material, it can be marble rock having gray or red grains of other materials. Okay, then third question is define the terms given below and answer the questions associated to each term. First is solid, liquid, or gas. And gas, for solid, why do solids not diffuse into one another? Liquid, why do liquids flow? And in case of gas, why are gases highly compressible? So first one, why do solids not diffuse into one another? It is so because the molecules of solid vibrate about their mean position only and cannot move from place to place. Okay. Their intermolecular force of attraction is very strong and intermolecular space uh, is very less. Okay. And so what happens? They vibrate about their mean position. That's why they cannot move from one place to another, and therefore so they cannot diffuse. In case of liquids, why do liquids flow? It is so because the intermolecular forces between the molecules are weak enough, weaker than the solids. Okay, so that they allow the molecules to move around relatively to one another. Okay, and in these liquids, the intermolecular forces can shift between molecules and allow them to move past one another, and so they can flow. They have intermolecular spaces that is a little larger than in case of solids. Okay, larger than the solids, and so intermolecular forces are also weaker than the solids. Okay, so what happens? The molecules of the liquid, they move around, okay, relative to one another. Okay, and so the intermolecular forces, they can shift from one molecule to the other. Okay, and the molecules, they move past one another, so they can flow. Now, in case of gases, the question is why are gases highly compressible? So because the gas molecules are farther apart. Okay, their intermolecular spaces is maximum and intermolecular force of attraction is minimum. So they can be highly compressible. Large gap is there between the molecules, and so they can be highly compressed. Okay, so I'll stop here. I'll continue with the rest of the question answers in my next video on this chapter. Okay, so please go through this. If you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box, and also do share with your friends, and do like the press the like button and share, and also do subscribe to get the notification of my next video. Thank you.